All right, Shalom. This is the brother Tazabah from the GMS Atlanta camp. I'm going to start off by giving all glory and infinite praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, and Kakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that teaching that rule well. Salutations unto the Akim throughout the four corners that are putting their life on the line week in and week out. And salutations to the few women and children that subscribe to this truth, the faith, the sincerity, all charity and subjection, because that is the key. All right, I just wanted to come real quick, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And go into prophecy, man, because that's the spirit, because that's what we're here for. So I'm going to go into it and to give the first part breakdown of Daniel and the vision of the ram and the goat. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. All right. Now I'll start here. This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. In the third year of the reign of Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, and I saw a vision, and I was by the river Ulai. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns. And the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Now, this the time period in which Daniel is receiving this vision is during a time period of 604 to 536 BC. All right. So this vision that he had of this ram and of this goat were a vision of what was to come 200 to 300 years after them. Huh? All right. Because if I'm not mistaken, the time of Alexander, his death was 323 BC. All right. So that's a whole good 200-300 years after this vision. All right. So this vision is set over a long period of time. All right. Now it says, and there stood before the river a ram which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. And those two horns are going into the Medo-Persian Empire. All right. And the higher came up last was the Persian Empire. All right, because the Persians took over the Medes. All right. Now I continue. It says, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. And that's what happened with the Medo-Persian Empire. They became a very large power within the earth, man. They became a world power, through military conquest. Continue. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. All right. And now the he-goat that the scriptures is going to get into is talking on Alexander the Great. All right. Or Alexander the Greek. All right. It says, and he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen. And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran into him in the fury of his power. Yeah, because when you go into the histories, it was the Greeks that quote unquote took down the Medo-Persian Empire. It was the Greeks. All right, starting with Philip of Macedonia. Being the father of Alexander the Great, man, or the Greek. All right. Now I'll continue. It says, and I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him. So I wanted to look up choler. All right. All right. Bitterness, to make bitter, to be enraged. All right. So it says, and I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with great choler against him, and smote the ram and break his two horns. Yeah, and that's what the Greeks did. They break the two horns of the Medo-Persian Empire. They took them down. All right. And that's leading into that him that was taken down. That's Darius the Third, man. All right. The king over the Medo-Persian Empire. All right. And to get that, I'll go here to First Maccabees. All right. This is First Maccabees chapter 1:1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, all right, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. All right. Let's go back. Continuing. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram and brake his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hands. Yeah, because when these two great powers bumped heads, the Lord had it that king, that Alexander the Greek would be victorious, man. All right, because the Lord was setting the stage for what was to come. He was setting up the stage for prophecy, man. All right. Verse 8. Therefore the he-go waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. All right. Now, to refer back, we got to go back over to Maccabees. All right. Now, I'll start at 2. And made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. Yeah, because he was a vain Edomite, man, at the end of the day. And he gathered a mighty strong host, which is an army, and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. All right. And that's Alexander that's being spoken of. All right. Because Alexander was the first, quote unquote, ruler to conquer the known world. All right. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. All right. And that's what happened. King Alexander the Great, he died at the age of what? 32? All right. Continuing. Therefore, the he-go waxed very great. And that's what it was going into. He put all kings in subjection and made them tributaries unto him. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken. Yeah, and the Lord broke that great horn, man. Because of King Alexander the Greek, he lived a very debaucherous lifestyle. He was big on partying, and other illicit things. All right. The great horn was broken, for it came up 4 notable ones towards the four winds of the heavens. All right. And those the great horn was broken, and it came up 4 notable ones. Those 4 notable horns were the generals that stood up in the stead of Alexander. All right, going into Seleucus, Ptolemy, Calisander, and Lysimaeus. Yeah, those are the 4 that stood up. So I go here. All right. Wherefore he called his servants as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. All right. So those 4 notable horns, it says, so Alexander reigned 12 years, then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. All right. So when he split the kingdom up, these are those four horns. And after his death, they put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them. Many years and evils were multiplied in the earth. All right. You see how the Lord is setting the stage? But it was set, that stage was set a whole 300, 200 years prior by Daniel through the vision that the Lord gave him. All right. And it says, continuing, and out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. And that pleasant land is Jerusalem. And that little horn that is being spoken of is Antiochus the fourth, surname Epiphanes. All right. Because just this, the scripture said after him, all of these Edomites, after Alexander died, they began to put crowns upon them here and their children after them. Matter of fact, let me go back. All right. It says, and after his death, they put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. You see? Now, he wasn't the first Antiochus. His parents, Antiochus III, was the Antiochus the Great. All right. But he's the fourth. And this is that little horn that waxed exceedingly great. And Lord willing, in the next part, I'm going to go into it and break it down that, you know, he brought a lot of hell on our peoples, man, according to this prophecy, according to the prophecy that the Lord spoke of in Daniel. All right. But this great horn is speaking of Antiochus Epiphanes, and I'll finish off. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great towards the south and towards the east and towards the pleasant land. And that pleasant land is Jerusalem. But I'm going to just stop it for here, and Lord willing, when I find some more time, I'm going to do the second part. But with that, till the next time, shalom.